Sometimes you'll see stuff in Minecraft and wonder why anyone possibly thought that was a good idea to build, let alone spend all of that time on it. Well, the thing is, I actually have intrusive thoughts for this sort of Minecraft build all the time, and mostly I keep them at bay. I say mostly, but sometimes I have to let them out somewhere, and so rather than wasting dozens of hours on a dumb survival project, I need to work out what builds I absolutely shouldn't make, and I figure if I'm going to be building them anyway, why not share each of them with you? So here are 11 things you absolutely should not make in Minecraft survival, and also I wanted to let you know that you can subscribe to the channel to see more build inspiration, or rather anti-inspiration, just like this one. This is actually part of a series, and we jumped straight from 9 to 11 here. You're welcome. And with that said, let's talk about the first one, because while showing off this seed recently, I realized that the lake around it went all the way down to Bedrock layer, that's -64, that's 128 blocks of ocean, and I had to imagine what it would look like without any of that ocean there. And so, all we have to do for this is a simple replacement of all of the water blocks with air. We do this using a simple command like this, and wow, all of that water, well, oh god. Okay, we have to do it very quickly, or all of that water will just come straight back. Wow, that is actually impressive to see. And so yeah, we kind of run around just desperately destroying the water as fast as we can, and apparently not doing a very good job at it. I don't know why some of this just isn't going away, but it really isn't, huh? Yeah, look at that. There's just random pools of water with little gaps between it. Very, very odd. Again, if we're not quick, it does all start to fill in, so that's fun too. So I downscaled my plans from this entire lake because, you know, it clearly is not happening, to just this small section, and already there you can see the weird things it does to the water when you try to destroy it in sections. It doesn't, there's no internal logic as to how this is flowing this way, as best I can tell. Like, look, there's water flowing on top of water here. I don't understand it, but we can see what the cave looks like down here, or rather the bottom of the ocean looks like, and it is crazy. Think about this, but it's entirely water. We have 115 I should say, 115 block deep oceans, and now we can officially see it. If you want to see more of the weird ways this broke, the Seed Sunday is something, I'll link down below and show you the thumbnail on screen if you want to find it yourself, but it is very, very, very interesting, because as you remove the water around here, you realize it looks much more like a cave than an ocean, but it is just a cave, really, that is filled fully with water, and it's very odd to see, in my opinion. And yeah, it took me millions of water blocks removed, so I'm glad I did it here in creative and not survival, to say the least. My second question, though, relates to one of these. If you don't know, killing any mob near a Skulk catalyst will result in the experience from that mob turning into Skulk. This is a pretty fun thing because it means that you can Skulkify anywhere in the overworld. My question, though, is there a limit to how far this effect can apply? I mean, obviously, if I kill a second creeper over here now, that's going to then turn into Skulk around that creeper, and if you then kill a creeper on top of already existing Skulk, it just kind of spreads around in an interesting way, growing and growing the Skulk area. So here's the question, how long does this work for? So we place a command block in the sky, one of these purple ones, so it keeps repeating, and then we do the very regrettable action of typing /summon and then creeper. And now every single tick, it is going to summon a creeper. I think we should make redstone be required though, just so we can turn that off if something goes bad. I mean, I don't see how this could possibly go wrong. Oh, they're not spawning on the underside. Oh, they've covered up the button. Okay, I need to, can you guys help me find the lever? Okay, I'm just gonna quickly toggle that off and try this again. Okay, I cannot hit the lever. This is gonna cause some problems. But as you can see, until those problems are caused, right now what we actually have is a slowly growing Skulk area. Oh yeah, isn't that fascinating? Oh no, don't go on the trees, creepers. It's raining creeps. Hallelujah, it's raining creeps. This is a good way to farm Skulk sensors, apparently. Oh my god, you can see, even though the creepers are dying over here, the Skulk is still spreading all the way over here. That is very interesting. Now I want to know if there's like a limit on the radius, because obviously, why is it picking over here too? You'd figure it'd go in an even circle, but apparently not. I'm gonna, oh yeah, it just keeps on going to the +Z direction. I wonder why. And so now we watch and we see what happens from here, I guess.
A little longer than a few minutes later.
Okay, I'm gonna kill all of these creepers real quick, and we're gonna see what happened after a couple of minutes, because this is a little out of hand. As you can see, not that crazy. The radius, I think actually it's probably gone underwater more, and that's why it doesn't look so crazy. Yeah, it's gone a little bit underwater, But even after killing literally tens of thousands of creepers, it hasn't expanded as far as I would expect. Oh, we need to deal with the gunpowder, apparently. Oh, we should just turn off mob drops, and then that way we won't cause too much lag. And now there'll be much less loot when we reset up our command block, ideally with creepers going below it, and also ideally with this not being able to happen. So we'll have the creeper spawn be over here, hopefully so that fewer of them land on trees. Or in the water. You know, it's really hard to guarantee creepers won't die somewhere. Let's move the Skulk Catalyst to the middle of the iceberg. No safety for you here now, creepers. Okay, so that should summon a creeper below the block this time. And that hopefully will make sure that I can always press the lever. Yeah, just like that, as you can see, they're dying in a perfect stream now. Although the experience is not converting into anything, because ice will not be converted. Although we're still getting... Didn't I turn off mob drops? Mob loot I did not turn off. I turned it on, maybe. Well, today I learned that you cannot convert ice into Skulk. And also, it's clearly not converting blocks further away, so there is a maximum radius. So if I place like a stone block and then, this is really, really odd. Even though I'm placing blocks around it, those blocks aren't being converted. Unless it's going to the bottom of the ocean? No? Maybe because the Skulk Catalyst itself is on an ice block, that's the thing? Nope, it's just making all the fun noises, but I'm not getting any reward from it. Okay, third time is the charm here. I'm gonna try the exact same thing, but over here, using that same just below the command block, so they die in a constant stream, and that should save me. So, repeating command block, put my little lever on top, and let's summon those creepers. Okay, there we go. So now they are dying. Are they converting things? I sure would expect so. Oh, do you think the mob loot excludes the experience? And so, I mean, there's a lot of happy dancing around here though, so I'm not too sure. And it is collecting their souls. Maybe it needs another Skulk Shrieker. Is that solving my problems? Yeah, to be honest with you, I've lost track of how this is supposed to work. There's a lot of very happy soul animations. I'm gonna confirm by turning mob loot back on if anything actually happens. But I suspect that no. Apparently, wait. Yeah, I suspect just something about this block is not working correctly. Lots of very cool things are happening in this biome, but none of them are quite what I expected. So if you want to skulkify something, probably still best off doing it by grabbing the blocks yourself, unless you want to have fun with an endless series of creepers, which maybe you do have in your world. So I guess that's a bit of a dud. Oh wait, no, it's expanding again now. See, why is that? It's got to be something about the tile drops. You can see over there, it's literally still dancing. Yeah, whoa, what? Okay, it's the tile drops. They went away, they came back, and now we're skulkifying some more. There's still a huge mystery as to why it leaves certain areas blank, like how it decides certain areas to expand into and certain ones not to. Like over there, for example. But yeah, this is a mystery you can definitely play around with, but there's a mystery I have which is way stupider, but definitely needs to be answered sooner, and that is, imagine an end fight, right? You're fighting the dragon, but you don't want to do it with a sword and a weapon, because you know, like, and this thing is valuable, has limited durability. Instead, you want to use something with a bit more oomph. What do you go for? You go for TNT. I want to know, if you had a bunch of TNT, and blast protection of course, would you survive a fight with the dragon where you exploded her? So I'm taking a full set of armor, enchanting it with blast protection 4, because, you know, let's be honest, that's the only type of protection we're going to be using, and we're going to be seeing what happens if you fight the dragon using TNT and explosions. Oh, and obviously, because it's me, I'm not just going to be placing a few TNT blocks gingerly here or there. I'm going to cover the surface of this entire dimension with them. And so welcome to the explosion dimension. Being here with just a single lever might have been a mistake in retrospect, but I'm hoping this is all we need to detonate the explosions, to do the crazy things to the dragon and such. Did you know that Enderman could hold TNT? I certainly didn't. But yeah, now I've got all my armor on. I've got a lot of... oh gosh. Okay. Is this going well for me right now? I don't think so. I don't see a single bit of damage done to the dragon. I just see... okay, I'm gonna have to eat some gold real quick. Okay, slot 6. Oh yeah, this is an interesting fight, right? How is the dragon taking no damage from any of this? Is the only reasonable question at this point. I'm getting 1 frame every 2 seconds. I hope some of this is coming through for the video, but I don't know what I'm even learning. I guess besides the effectiveness of blast protection 4, right? Like, I've got time to eat a golden apple during all of... Oh, no, I don't. Okay, we crashed the game. So when it loads up, we'll know for sure, is the dragon dead? Or am I dead? And if it's the second one, then don't fight the dragon with this much TNT. So about that, when we load up the world thing, I don't know that that is something that definitely will happen. So... yeah, okay, Minecraft crashed. So I think I broke a Minecraft world, which, you know, that's a real good reason not to try it in survival. This is third on the list of things you shouldn't build, where I've concluded that would be a really, really bad idea. Admittedly, if you killed as many creepers as we just did, you would have enough gunpowder to make that much TNT, but don't use it to fight the dragon. My last try here is I'm gonna turn off TNT explodes and set the difficulty to peaceful. Maybe that will make the world work, but I'm not feeling great about it. Hey, whoa, that did something. Oh yeah, okay, oh my god. The good news is my golden apple eating did come through. I don't know how I got to 4.5 gold hearts. But yeah, it looks like none of them did any damage to the dragon. So if you were going to try this, it probably wouldn't be very successful. That's the lesson I'm learning. Also, there's a lot of just white boxes sat around the place. This is very interesting. Honestly, these are like glow lights, but they go way brighter, so I'm just saying, pro tip. Anyway, I'm gonna take my TNT and get out of here and show you the next thing. Oh god. I'm just endlessly fascinated by all of this. The way Minecraft does everything when it comes to TNT is a sight to behold. Let's tone things down just the tiniest bit after that, because now I'd like to talk about the Nether. In fact, I've looked at this structure. It's called the Nether Fortress for some time while I was doing some research for the history of the Nether, and I realized that the Nether brick texture and that of the deep slate tile is not horrifically unrelated, right? Do you see what I'm talking about that? The Nether brick and the deep slate tile are really quite similar in nature. And so something that I assume can't break Minecraft is finding out what happens if you were to replace all of those with all of these. Honestly, in the basalt delta biome, this is an amazing fit. I mean, it's so much better for the surrounding biome to be gray and boring as well, honestly. I do think I didn't replace the fence posts. I think maybe throwing some deep slate tile walls in there, like I think you could do something with that maybe, like look at this. But to me that makes it a lot more bland and even less exciting. So I think having some form of fence in there makes sense, even if it's a different type of wood maybe. But you can't have wood because it's the Nether. So yeah, I think that you would have to balance this in some way. You'd have to have some cracked ones in there. But I think overall the deep slate tile Nether fortress, something good's going on here, right? Next up, we'll come to the overworld and the most special and rare biome, the Mushroom Island. I absolutely love the Mushroom Islands because they feel so mystical. This is an example, King B Dogs has even gone on record and said, you don't need new dimensions when you have interesting biomes that have entirely different rules, just like the Mushroom Islands do. They have mushrooms here, an animal found nowhere else in the game, no hostile mobs, and then this weird purple stuff. And I was thinking, how do we replicate this feeling of a wonderful, mystical place without it being explicitly exactly this? And here is my best idea. We could either cover it with one of these 4 blocks. I think rooted dirt is the laziest one. It doesn't look as special as, say, melons. I think melons covering the biome would be special. I think melons is such an interesting block because they've got this weird stem texture on top of them, and it creates this very interesting feeling world, does it not? Wow, look at the mushrooms. Actually, funnily enough, just out of sight there. But look at this. This is actually a really interesting vibe for a biome by just taking a simple block. But I think we could do a step better than this. I think we could take the Mushroom Island with its fun generation and do a little step better. And here is my idea for how. We're going to start by cloning the Mushroom Island up into the sky, I think. Yep, I mean, it's not perfectly what I was going for, but I guess it'll do. Yeah, I mean, it's not terrible. It's just kind of missing some stuff. So I'm gonna try that again. This time I'm gonna put it over the ocean though. So I'm gonna move it like, I don't know, like 50 blocks to the left and see if that looks any better. Okay, no, it's got the same problem, but you know what, we're trying here, okay? We'll remove most of this excess water because it's excess and we don't need it. You know what, pro tip, that's what the word means. And yeah, once we get rid of all of this, then we should now have a floating island how very, very interesting. It's kind of dull. I mean, I kind of like you can see the other island from here, but we're missing some things, right? How do we make those things? A big old pillar of honeycomb underneath the island, that's how. See, now it looks like it's connected to the ground in some way, and it's sending some signal that it's there. A very weird signal, but still. And then we take the top of this thing. Honestly, you know what? Using honeycomb for that probably wasn't a perfect fit. I think it would have been better to use, like, honey itself. Yeah, that looks much better. And then we take the stone under the island, which is super boring and wouldn't exist if this was normal, and we make it something also fun and quirky, while finally replacing the top layer with something else altogether. I think this will be perfectly fine. And then boom, wow, look at that. We've created something that has this vibe. Finish with some mobs for some creative story about why it's here. And wow, all of a sudden you've got yourself an interesting place. Honestly, no, it's no Mushroom Island. I like the idea of, like, floating biomes. I think having the occasional thing in the sky like this would be great. But I think just witches and maybe a little bit of food isn't enough reason to come up here. As much as I love the look, this is an example of an idea that is missing at least a few things. So I'm going to admit this was a bit of a failure. But I like the green Mushroom Island. Even from here, it stands out. Even from all the way up here, I want to go see what's going on with the green mushroom. And if you can do that with just a tiny variant of an existing biome, imagine what you could do if you created one brand new mob or a brand new plant that could go with it. I'm just saying, would be pretty revolutionary. And you don't even need to have these guys. Actually, while we're on the subject of witches, I'd like to mention something a bit strange. Have you noticed how they always drop potion ingredients? In fact, they're always making potions, despite the fact that those things require blaze rods. You need blaze rods, or you need, nether warts. You need things that can only be found here in the Nether. Have you ever looked around the Nether and seen a witch? I don't think I have, and so that's why I figure we need a new structure for the Nether. Maybe the Warp Forest, a very dead, empty place. Why don't we just come in here, use the existing blocks? Honestly, it does seem like it's a much better fit here, right? I mean, using these mystical blocks makes way more sense than, like, spruce. Honestly, how did they even get spruce blocks into the swamp biome to begin with? But I think, personally, this is such a great place for them, and it also just feels a little bit dead right now, so could solve two problems at once is all I'm saying. Because you also would be much more in the mood for potions by the time you get to the Nether, whereas early game, do you even have the way to cope with them? I don't know for sure. I just feel like the witch as a witch hut as a Nether structure would be so fun, and it would add all sorts of weird lore implications. Although, I do think that maybe, although the Warp Forest is the better fit thematically, you could probably make the argument that it should be a crimson wood block, right? By the way, my goal was just to copy paste them over then change the blocks, but I couldn't find a witch hut in my world, and so I'm building this, like this one, by hand. It's kind of painful, but I like slowly but surely learning how to definitely construct every single Minecraft structure. You learn by doing. And sometimes you gotta do dumb things to learn how to do dumb things. Yeah, honestly, it looks a lot better in the red block palette. Maybe you could put this in the Nether Wastes to give that more of an identity, because they get the wood from a neighboring biome. I don't know, I quite like it. I think, at this point I should just move on and say, yes, we need witches in the Nether. But I think the actual best combination would probably be something kind of combining the two together. Yeah, I probably went a little bit in depth on this, but I do think mixing the woods together is much better than using them individually. And honestly, I've always wondered, like, okay, you see these biomes? This is a biome made up primarily of blue wood, or at least it's got some blue undertones to it. What would the world look like if you switched them over? I'm sure it's not consequential, but this is the bottom of the barrel ideas my human brain can come up with. And so let's see what happens. Whoa, immediately you spot that difference actually, they look so much cooler with the red undertones, honestly, are a good fit for the blue, because honestly, the woods already both look more like this weird gray. What even color is that? It's already got some red to it. Is that red? Do I know color theory? Am I going blind? But the wood is already kind of red, so making it way stronger in the red vein honestly just makes it stand out so much better. Yeah, this biome is objectively better with redwood than blue, right? Can we all agree on that real quick? And so the only question left to answer is, does it look better in reverse too? Because again, this biome is already very red. Why don't we change it to be a bit more blue? All we're doing for both of these is a replace command, and honestly, already, I'm looking at it and I'm saying, whoa, blue and red go much better when you mix them together.
You know, people always say don't build out for the same color over and over again. And I kind of felt like, does that really need to be true? And honestly, even just for this one thing, I'm seeing it so powerfully. Look at this tree right here, for example. They look so much better with mixed up stems. But I mean, seeing them side by side, mixing up a type of one with a type of another is clearly the way to do this. So anyway, you know, by the time we start replacing trees with other trees, you can tell that my human idea bank is running out. However, I did want this to be 11 ideas that we could do for building, and although, you know, I could just usually stop right here, I want to make sure that we get to a weird number, so the series very deliberately cuts out 10, and so, rather than just saying, okay, what if we took all the netherrack blocks, and we made it like red terracotta instead. We could do that totally, don't get me wrong, but I figured I would ask my good friend, the chat GPT, what I should build in Minecraft. So I said, I want to build something weird in Minecraft, what do you recommend? I mean, I didn't say those words, I said, what is a weird thing I should build in Minecraft? But, you know, I'm trying to be casual and fun, and what the chat GPT said was, if you're looking for something weird to build in Minecraft, you should try creating a giant chicken statue, a house made entirely out of jukeboxes, or a maze with hidden passages and traps. And the maze of hidden passages and traps sounds too real, and the chicken statue literally is real. I believe those things exist in Cyberland Mansions, and so the jukebox house is clearly what I have to do now. Wow, it took some real time to put together, but I'm ready to show you my jukebox house. Oh, look at the efficient storage. Look at it's just so beautifully put together. I mean, obviously, when you hear jukebox house, you're probably not picturing this. As nice as my jukebox house was, I realized I had to build this. This is the true example of a jukebox house. Whoa, do you see all that room on the inside for storage? Oh, isn't this a beautiful thing? Okay. This still isn't good enough for you? Well, how about this house? I actually made, as everything else in life is, it's just so much more beautiful when you take something existing and you surround it with jukeboxes. This is the jukebox house that your grandma wants to live in, and you know what? I'm not even gonna stop her, because it is very beautiful. Just like how it could be beautiful if I ask the AI what I should build after this. Okay, I'm gonna try being a bit more direct with the bot. What are some terrible Minecraft building ideas? 1, building a statue of yourself. This is a terrible idea because it's likely to be viewed as arrogant. My god, the chat IA is going straight for a character assassination on me. The second terrible idea is building a giant lava pool. This is terrible because it's dangerous for other players and can also damage the terrain. Building a giant tower that blocks the sun would negatively impact the game's lighting, I guess. Building a giant wall around your base, and building a giant clock. While this might seem like a creative idea, it would likely be a waste of resources and not provide any practical benefit to the player or game. This is just really mean. Come on, you try that again, chat AI. Oh, it's just using different words to insult me now. That's fine. Thank you for that. How is a giant roller coaster ever going to be unsafe? That's my question. Okay, so it comes up with the same ideas in a different order, and it just says consider the impact of your building on other players. That is not fun. Okay, I'm gonna use the word weird to see if we get anything better than that. Nope, it's going back to the clock idea. Is a clock idea the worst or the best idea? You've got to make up your mind, chat AI. Okay, so to tick off 3 of those weird ideas all at once, let's build a giant statue. I mean, technically speaking, the size of a giant statue is all relative, right? Because compared to me, this statue is absolutely huge, right? I mean, look at me, look at the size of the statue of me. Oh wait, there's a little bit of a flaw. Wow, look how accurate it is. You really can't even tell that it's me if it weren't for the scale, right? But yeah, making a giant statue, I feel like I need to do that at a scale I've never done before. We'll use yellow concrete too, because I don't think I've built a statue of myself since then. Oh dear God, what have I done with these eyes? I swear that's what ocelot eyes are meant to look like, but it just... That is technically a giant statue of IBX Toy Cat. You can't tell me otherwise. Wow, look at me making such great building decisions. You know, okay, this probably can be fixed, right? Yeah, that's much better. I think we solved that one right there. Giant statue, check. Second thing, I mean, it would be ridiculous to make a pit of lava, so I'm not gonna do that one. I mean, can you even imagine what a pit of lava would look like? Ridiculous, that's for sure. Although actually, I'm so sorry for being inconsiderate of the other people in my world. They don't deserve this. But but what they do deserve is to keep them safe from my giant statue and lava pit is a giant wall around my base, and this is something I actually have always wanted to do. You know, when you make a nice Minecraft base, like I clearly have done right here, I think it only makes sense to shield it from the rest of the world using some walls. And obviously, you can do what most people do, and you can make a lovely wall, which is impossible to get over. You can do this by using any block, but I think the walls are maybe the best one for it. I like the way they tile into this. It's very nice, and you can make walls. You can even leave gaps in it so you can see over. It's nice, it's wonderful, but I've always wondered, like, why don't we have silly high walls? Why don't we have walls that are 3 or 4 or much taller in terms of blocks? And so the answer to that question is something along the lines of this. Minecraft has a hard time actually tiling in this many walls together, it seems. You see that there's like weird lines going through here that still have to connect? Like, what's this and this? Why is this notably different than before? Is there a good reason? Is it going to connect at some point? But the bigger reason you probably don't want walls this high is because you don't really see very well outside of them. I'm going to be honest, this Toy Cat statue deserves to be seen, and right now, having walls this high is kind of preventing that, besides this gap here, which you can see through diagonally. I think there probably is an argument to destroy diagonal gaps and maybe have the occasional little, like, you know, like glass block or like two wide hole like this, so you can still see the outside world. But then at that point, do you feel as secure? The answer is probably not. I think there is some fun to be had in maybe building giant walls so you can knock them down. But as far as like actually having giant safe walls, for the most part, I'm not convinced they work. But the whole point of this video is things I'm not convinced would work, and that's why I didn't build them. And so I hope you enjoyed seeing 11 such examples. I had a lot of fun going through them today. Honestly, this is one of my favorite series on the channel, and I hope that you see and appreciate that. If you do, make sure to subscribe to see more of them, and if you don't, then you know what, honestly, I guess this one's over, so I hope to see you in the next one. I think if you wanted to do this yourself, it might be better to try with sponges, because then the water wouldn't come back and do this. Wait, no, do you want to know something really crazy? I was just kind of playing around down here, and I realized there's one single block between this inside cave that goes down to lava layer, and then, oh, in 3 blocks in this case, and then where the water was. That is just insane to realize out loud. Like, oh, yeah, you could have a giant cave, effectively, that is that easy to access. You know, Minecraft is weird. Minecraft seeds are weird. But today you learned, I guess. Okay, goodbye.